So we're on. The City Council.
Council members: Friedman,
Here.
Manukian,
Here.
Jarian,
Here.
Weaver,
Here.
Mayor Quintero.
Here.
Roll call for the authority.
Authority members: Friedman,
Here.
Manukian,
Here.
Vinci,
Here.
Barazian,
Here.
Quintero,
Here.
Weaver,
Here.
Sharon Najarian.
Here.
And we have your report.
The agenda for the joint June 26, 2012 joint public meeting of the City Council and Housing Authority was posted on Thursday, June 21, 2012 on the bulletin board outside City Hall. Before you is Director of Community Development regarding proposed affordable multifamily rental housing project to be located at 327 through 331 West Salem Street in parking lot 12. 1A is authority motion approving fiscal year 2011-12 home action plan amendment. B is council motion authorizing a cooperation agreement between the city and the Housing Authority, providing for the commitment of the city to transfer city parking lot number 12 to the Housing Authority in support of the affordable housing development. C is authority motion authorizing a cooperation agreement between the Housing Authority and the city, providing for the commitment of the city to transfer city parking lot number 12 to the Housing Authority in support of affordable housing development.
Mr. Ochoa.
There's two more
there's
items.
more.
D is authority resolution approving an affordable housing agreement between the Housing Authority and Veterans Village of Glendale, LP. E is authority resolution appropriating $4,288,000 in home grant funds for the project.
Mr. Ochoa.
One more time around, a very exciting project, new construction, one that has been a long time coming with respect to Veterans Village, where we have affordable housing for veterans as well as services for those folks returning home. So with that, I'd have Peter come back up for the final report.
Mr. Chair, members of the authority, third and final project to present to the Housing Authority. Veterans Village of Glendale. The property address is known as 327 through 331 Salem, and parking lot number 12 currently exists of this vacant parcel highlighted here, as well as city parking lot, metered parking lot number 12. There's a picture of as the property stands as of last week. This project, the proposal is a 44-unit new construction project utilizing 9% tax credit funding. The proposal consists of 22 one-bedroom units, 9 two-bedroom units, 13 three-bedroom units. It's proposed as a family project with a veteran's preference. The developer is Safran and Associates, the developer for the Garfield Gardens project. The social service provider and partner in this proposal is New Directions. And New Directions is a social service provider well known throughout the California area who specialize providing services of all kinds, housing and social services, to veterans. The vacant portion of the property, 327, 331 West Salem, is currently owned by the Housing Authority. Parking lot number 12 is owned by the city. Requested funding assistance is $5.3 million, approximately $120,000 per unit, approximately $67,000 per bedroom. The overall request and assistance, as I mentioned, is $5.3 million. However, the Housing Authority, under the previous proposal of Central City Lights, has already expended $1.1 million in acquiring and providing a land acquisition loan to the then developer in acquiring the vacant parcel.
Is that in addition to the 5.3 being requested?
That is part of the 5.3 being requested.
Go back to that, okay. Because it says requested funding assistance, so that the 5.3 includes the 1.1 that we have.
Right. This third bullet point here, $4.2 million is needed in cash.
Okay.
The additional 1.1, which would total the 5.3, is the
Okay.
value of the land currently held by the Housing Authority. Under this particular proposal, the city would be selling the city parking lot to the development. The Housing Authority, as part of its $4.2 million, will be purchasing the property, contributing it towards the proposal, and then the parking fund will receive the $1.1 million estimated value of the property in funding. We discussed this at the time that the Housing Authority first considered this proposal at the May 15th meeting. It is Housing Authority owned property. The Housing Authority in April of 2011 adopted certain policy with regards to housing authority-owned property and the need to eventually develop property through an RFQ type of process, unless the authority would feel that there are certain findings that could be made to sole source. And we discussed this at the meeting. The 5 findings for sole sourcing would be special needs or focused population project, a small development project, a historically significant project that is unique or provides for some type of a unique community partnership, and whether or not there's limited leverage funding sources associated with this proposal. You have before you, that was distributed prior to the meeting, an amended resolution that includes making the findings for this sole source determination. We've highlighted 3 of those that staff discussed with you back in April, and we'd like to just emphasize again that staff supports making the sole source finding under the 3 conditions or 3 findings that the veteran population being proposed here is a special need focused population, that the developer in partnership with New Directions presents a unique community partnership, and with housing authorities funding and need to commit home funding fairly quickly to be able to make the 3rd finding of having limited leverage funding sources to commit. If there are any construction questions, I can have Mr. Fortney come back up.
Any construction question?
Per square foot cost.
I'll ask him to come up.
Good afternoon, Mike Fortney, Housing Project Manager again. This is the project that I was talking about where the budget calls for $120 a square foot for the residential and $60 a square foot for the garage for a blend of $102 per square foot. The Housing Authority...
What is the total square footage of the building?
The total square footage of the building is... I have, if you are including the garage, 65,475 square feet. If you're just talking about above the garage, it's 46,350 square feet.
Is the 5.3 million the total cost?
No, the total development cost is 15.464 million. So our subsidy is about a third of that.
I don't know if it's the proper time, but the main reason we're doing this, the potential loss of over $5 million if we don't do this now.
That's right. We have a deadline, July 27th, and then another deadline, September 31st.
In terms of making the finding,
So doing an RFP process, we'd have never got it done, and we would have ended up losing the funds.
Right. That's right.
that and as well as the other findings that you see up on the screen.
That's secondary to me.
Absolutely. But those all
$5
taken
million
together,
lost.
taken all together is what composes the or comprises the recommendation to the board or to the council.
And this is now going to go by our direction to design review.
That's right.
I don't know if you're going to come back for more.
I was going to make
Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay. And so I'll allow him back. I'd also say the developers
Let
in
him
the
finish, and then I'll ask if there's...
Were there any other questions for me?
What was the total cost of the project? 15 point how much?
Yes. The total development cost is $15,464,115.
Okay, thanks.
Any other questions? Okay, I have one speaker.
Is he done?
Wait, he's not done with his
Oh, you-
presentation.
No, come back up, sorry. Go ahead.
I apologize. I just wanted to address Housing Authority Member Weaver's comment. Prior to the meeting, I did distribute a rendering. It is a preliminary rendering of the building. Per Housing Authority policy adopted back in April of 2011, all affordable housing projects design approval has been moved from Housing Authority approval to Design Review Board. So I just want to emphasize that this proposal, this rendering, will, once staff is able to comment and make adjustments to it, will be going before the Design Review Board for their approval, input and approval. At some point in the future, because the developer will not be applying for tax credits until the March 2013 round for this proposal, we would be coming back to the authority to update you on what the final design has been settled upon by the Design Review Board.
Will it require any variances?
It's too early to tell at this point, but I take it that there will be some affordable housing incentives that the developer will seek, similar to the developer who had this proposal prior to them sought and received.
And as I said before, when ABI had this, that huge oak tree in the rear corner, northwest corner, I'd like to see that preserved. I mean, it's a nice shade tree for more than one property. It's right on the property line. Hope that's saved. If this is anything like what we're going to see finally compared to the crap that we got from ADI, it looks 1,000% better. I saw the other work they did. This looks nice compared to that other junk.
Mr. Menuchyan has a question.
Yeah, since the finance director is here, do we have revenues from the parking lot?
Minimal.
That's a good question. I'm sure we do. I don't know what the volume is.
Be
How
minimal.
much we're losing from the parking lot doing this?
If there's any more than 5 cars are in there at any one time during the day.
I don't know the location exactly. I can't
Clancy's.
visualize it.
Across the street from.
Do we have revenues from this particular parking lot? When
And has that been included in the calculations of the project?
No, it is not. All revenue from this operation of this parking lot goes to the parking fund. This parking lot is the least utilized city lot, and that's why the proposal to include that into the previous and this project was deemed to be acceptable.
Okay.
Okay, I have one card, Richard Espiritu.
Good afternoon. I am Richard Espiritu. Several weeks ago, I spoke out highly in favor of this project. There are a couple of questions that I have. One is, will this project meet, because they have to have at least 3 facilities that are for mobile impaired, will it reach the height and reach requirement as established by ADA? The other question, after reviewing this project, this is 5 stories high. Unfortunately, FEMA requires fire safety or locations on facilities that are higher than 3 floors. I didn't see any of that in the plans. And my other major problem with this facility is its location. I spoke with the Veterans in Foreign Wars, and we have, since the first of the year, approximately 125 veterans coming back in Glendale or the immediate area, of which 30% of them are suffering from post-traumatic stress syndrome. Several weeks ago, we had in the Glendale News Press some comments about a fight where 2 officers were elbowed. If we get these boys coming back from Vietnam, from the Middle East, we have a potential of a great problem because it's close to Giggles and also very close to Clancy's. You put a post-traumatic stress veteran with alcohol and some young women, we could have some dead police officer or dead citizens. Thank you very much.
You know, that's a kind of stereotype that is just so ridiculous. I just can't. I'm not even going to address it because it's just BS, you know. Anyway,
Want some motions?
yeah.
Oh, can I just say one thing before you make a motion?
Oh, yeah.
That this developer, Thomas Safran, built one of our most beautiful affordable housing projects in the city, Gardens on Garfield, correct? And I recommend that anybody who's interested to see what a really high-quality affordable housing project looks like, take a ride by. What's the address there? Does anybody have the address handy?
205.
205
East Garfield.
Garfield.
205 East Garfield.
So take a drive past 205. Somebody's making different numbered motions at me.
It's east?
305
There's
or
not
205?
Oh, my apologies. It is 305.
305. 305 East Garfield. 305 or 30? Come on, I'm getting different numbers from people. Does somebody have the address for this project?
I think it was 405, wasn't it?
No attention to those behind us. It's 305 East Garfield.
Are you
Okay,
sure?
305 East Garfield.
As sure
Right
as it can
now,
be.
at this moment, I am sure, yes.
Thank you. It's a beautiful project, really beautiful project, and it's what I think affordable housing should be, which is the nicest building on the block. And the reason I think that is because people tend to not want to have affordable housing in their neighborhoods, so I think we owe it to the neighborhoods to upgrade our neighborhoods when we do a publicly funded affordable housing, and that project absolutely does that. So I'm very happy to see this developer building what's going to be a fairly substantially sized and visible project in this location. I think it's going to be, hopefully, if it's up to the same quality as the one on Garfield, it's going to be a great project. They say it's going to be even better, so I'll hold them to that. Even better. Okay.
And just a warning on the parking, I hope you can park it, because we heard from the neighbors before, there's no additional parking on that street. So, park it.
First, let's get a second
Okay, so
for
I was
Mr. Weaver.
I'm going to move.
For which
1A, C, D, and E for the authority.
I will second.
Okay, Mr. Menuchyan?
Yes, I will support it. The overall cost of $15.4 million divided by the square footage comes up to about $230 per square foot. That's, in my opinion, a reasonable development, not an overblown in terms of cost, so I will support it.
Okay, roll call?
Actually, let me make a comment. Yeah, I'm also very happy that this day's arrived. I'm happy that Saffron and their architectural firm has designed what's going to be a beautiful building. And also, don't forget, we have New Directions, a veterans organization that's been around for many, many years, that will be providing the social service component. It's on bus lines, easy access to the Verdugo Job Center on Central. Clancy's is a plus. I keep joking when I've talked to different vets that we'll probably have some vets that are going to be gaining weight living right across the street from Clancy's and within walking distance of Porto's. So anyway, this is also on a bus line that can take vets up to Glendale Community College. So it's just a great location, a great development team and social service provider. So it's a great day for Glendale.
Comments? Roll?
Authority members: Friedman,
Yes.
Menuchyan, Mincy,
Yes.
Brazilian,
Yes.
Caro,
Yes.
Weaver,
Aye.
Chair Najarian.
Yes.
And I'll move 1B for the council.
Second.
Roll call?
Council members: Friedman,
Yes.
Menuchyan,
Yes.
Najarian,
Yes.
Weaver,
Aye.
Mayor Quintero.
Yes. What's next?
Item 2 is Director of Community Development and Administrative Services Finance regarding adoption of 2012-13 Glendale Housing Authority budget. At 2A is Authority Resolution adopting the fiscal year 2012-13 Housing Authority budget. At B is a council resolution making findings and approving expenditures of affordable housing income funds for administration and planning and expenditures outside the redevelopment project areas for the 2012-13 Housing Authority budget.
Mr. Ochoa?
We have for you now the first of several financial reports you'll hear this evening. This one this afternoon has to do with the budget for the Glendale Housing Authority, and Bob Elliott will give you a very brief presentation, seeing as the council's sat through several of these presentations already.
Ever so brief. Mr. Mayor, members of the Council and Authority, before you is the adoption of the budget and related findings for the Housing Authority. The total budget is $34.7 million. The majority of that is Section 8 in Fund 202 of about $30.8 million. The Home Grant Fund is $1.2 million, Supportive Housing $2.4, and the Affordable Housing is $220, again, for a total of about $34.7 million. And if you have any questions, I'll be...
We have gone over this and over this and over
Correct.
this, previous council meetings, so this is the formality of it.
Correct. This is the formal adoption of all the previous study sessions and the hearing 2 weeks ago.
Just to reemphasize, where it says maintenance and operation under Housing Assistance Fund of $28 million, that's the Section 8, right?
Correct.
So it's not a maintenance operation of the city's infrastructure or anything, just so we're clear.
I'll move 2A for the authority. Second.
Roll call?
The authority?
Authority members:
For the
Friedman,
authority.
Yes. Yes.
Friedman, yes. Menuchyan,
Yes.
Mincy,
Yes.
Brazilian,
Yes.
Caro,
Yes.
Weaver,
Aye.
Chair Najarian.
Yes.
Move 2B for the council.
Second.
Roll call?
Council members Friedman,
Yes.
Nukian,
Yes.
Najarian,
Yes.
Weaver,
Aye.
Mayor Quintero.
Move we
Yes.
adjourn for the council.
Second.
We are adjourned.